Look, I'm not a website design pro. I literally taught myself how to code 2 years ago. But there's a few things that I've learned that make it simple to make your stuff look good. So first of all, it's fonts. So with fonts, of course, you want to make sure it looks beautiful. But before, I used to just sit down and scroll on a font for hours and days and weeks, and then I would just add it to the website, and then next day I would look at my website and I would think, no, I have to change the font. And then I would go back scrolling again. And so to avoid this, and just to simply have a good looking website, just have two fonts. Specifically, one that is for headings, so kind of bold and big and bright, and the other one that is for paragraphs. You just combine the two and they look pretty nice. And then you don't have to worry about anything, you just literally cement it there. Especially because you have to understand there's this kind of designer's eye, so to speak, is when you constantly keep trying to make it look good, then you kind of look at it from a different side and it's like, that doesn't look good at all. The same way if you look at a word, like the spelling of a word, for example, just look into this word, you see this kind of, these consonants together and you're like, no way, that's how you spell it. Is that a real word? The same way that's kind of with design and fonts. So understand that when you kind of look at it, it's kind of false. It actually looks pretty decent. You're just over exaggerating it. And next is a color palette. Choose 2 to 3 colors. And what I've noticed is that all bigger companies, what they do is actually choose black and white. And then additionally, some kind of accent color. You look at, I don't know, Claude AI. It has both black and white, and it has orange to it as well. And they use orange in a specific way. You have GitHub Copilot, they use black and white, and then they use this kind of purple hue a little bit more. And so it just makes it very simple. You just do this, right? Personally, for my own website, I have space gray as my main theme with white and blue accents. At least that's what I chose. And you have to use it in a specific way so that it fits your style, because this is the exact same color scheme as in Perplexity AI, if you know that platform. And you use it in a specific way and then it looks good. Cyan is for like when you highlight stuff, and white is for like buttons, and space gray is for like the background, right? So now again, this is not going to create something that's going to win some kind of design award, but you were never trying to do that anyway. You're just trying to get users, not get diarrhea from looking at your website. Maybe it's worth for you to consider just having a minimalistic, futuristic design, kind of sleek and modern type of things. So really look into the kind of design that you want to make, and then make sure that the color palette fits it in just 2 to 3 colors. And most of all, most likely you will choose black and white as your first 2 colors, and then you'll probably have like an accent color. At least that's what I've observed that most websites that we use today do. I mean, the website you're watching me on right now on YouTube, it has white, space gray, and red. Just simple as that, right? Now next is spacing and layout, and this is where I can actually tell you a personal story. I was building a social media website one day, very long back, and I was only beginning learning how to code. And so what I did is, for my spacing and layout and everything like that, how I put the elements on the page, I used position absolute for literally everything. So from top to the right, like everything is fixed on the exact place. And on my screen, in my resolution, it looks correct, right? It looks amazing. After some time, I happened to open it on a different device other than my computer, opened this website, and I saw how everything was mixed up. And like you could literally see all of the elements kind of squished to the side because this screen was bigger and you could barely like use it at all. So I didn't know anything about how to lay out and space it, but there is a simple way to just get around it. And this is probably what you have heard already, but it's just kind of using a consistent layout. For paragraphs, you use 12px. For the margin of, your buttons or the padding of your buttons, you use 24px. Most commonly, what I use is 5. And you just choose a kind of consistent layout and always use like flexbox. So a consistent sizing, then a flexbox, which is like a CSS thing, right? And always learn how to use this so that it's just super easy to change anything, especially if you want to make sure that it works on a different device so that your website does not look ugly on a phone. Use Flexbox especially because it's just the modern way to do it, and also use a lot of white space. So these are just like 3 very simple things that if you follow, you literally eliminate all of the other need to make, at least in my opinion, to make it super beautiful and all these things. And the third thing is mobile responsiveness, which I know is super annoying. When I first started, I didn't even know how to make it properly responsive for the website. Am I supposed to load up all of my code onto my phone and then check how it looks, or what? I don't understand. Well, first of all, you just inspect element. Then there's a little option up there that you can click on, and then it says, okay, choose which device you would like to look through. Still on your computer, you can look at what it would look like on a phone, just in case if you haven't gone through that step. But if you move past this stage, what you have to focus on is the at media feature. In the CSS, you just do at media, and then I don't know, maximum width is 700 pixels. You just open the dimension responsiveness feature on the computer, and then you just look at it and think, okay, that's terrible. Let me resize it and let me make sure that when like the elements in the header, so that the links don't stack on top of each other, but rather they're still spaced out on the same line. And you just kind of, float left, and that's it. That's all you have to learn for this part. And so it's simple as that. If you can just understand how to do add media, all of dimension responsiveness is pretty much solved. So long as you've been using Flexbox, this becomes very easy, which is the previous point. Now finally, put your vision in. What I'm trying to say about this is how to make it actually look good without trying that much. Just, I don't know about you, I've seen a lot of very repetitive styles. The styles look very nice on paper, but then you compare it with 30 other styles that look in the same exact way, and you think, wow, they use the exact same font, only change the color palette a little bit, and it just kind of looks the same. You want to put some effort into just imagining what you would want it to look like, and then trying as best as you can to implement that into reality the exact way. You want it to look at like Apple's web design, make Steve Jobs proud. Make him think, wow, you think different. Just make it more alive, right? And don't use Questrial, I promise you. Questrial, Questrial. Do not use that because everybody uses it. Because you would rather, at least I would rather have people call my website look bad because they didn't like it, rather than say that it looks like an NPC, like it looks like I just copy pasted it, right? But then again, also don't overthink about this, because functionality is always more important than design. And so that was hopefully the simplest way that you've heard to make your website look generally more appealing. If you want to realize and launch the app that you're working on faster, I suggest you try Stellar AI. If you want, you can go sign up with the link in the description right now.